32,000 migrants from Haiti and other countries descended upon But yet 50,000 people with no crime, no problems, only happiness, love. I don't know, the mayor is a very nice man, I don't know, but he's a very nice man. And he doesn't want to really talk about it, but he's got to talk about it. He wants to be politically correct, so rather than saying what he should be saying, which is, you're all leaving, you're not coming in, we're not going to take you, we're not going to allow this to happen to our town. Instead of that, he was on television the other day, he said, no, we're trying very hard to get along with everyone. We're looking for interpreters because nobody speaks English. And I believe he actually intends on keeping the people in the town. The town is ruined. It's destroyed. I mean, I am politically correct, but not when it's this important. Your towns, your cities, your country is being destroyed. This is bigger than inflation, which is killing you, or caused by Biden and Harris with their stupid energy policy and all of their spending on the Green New Scam. Billions and trillions on the Green New Scam, on garbage that actually brings our country back. They don't think about nuclear missiles from different countries. And by the way, they can't handle them anyway. You'll end up in World War III. But they think about global warming, which is now called climate change. Because global warming doesn't work anymore, because it's actually cooling. It worked for a few seasons, but now it's not working. So climate change, a much better term, because that covers everything. Warming, cooling, rain, sun, it covers everything. Trillions and trillions of dollars they waste. You know, they want to go to 93 trillion. That's more money than every country in the planet. I just put Germany in that way for 1 year. And now they're building coal plants all over the place. You know why? Because they were getting destroyed. That's why Angela Merkel is no longer there. Already everybody is talking about leaving the different towns that we're talking about. The majority of the schools cannot speak English. In Ohio, Springfield, they can't speak English. They're taking over the schools. There's nobody that can speak English. And the mayor's looking for interpreters. Isn't that wonderful? How can this happen? How can we allow it to happen? If Kamala is reelected, your town and every town, just like it all across Wisconsin and all across our country, the heartland, the coast, it doesn't matter, will be transformed into a third world hellhole. So it's going to happen 100%. That's great, it sells like crazy. Oh, there's a fly. I wonder where the fly came from. See, 2 years ago I wouldn't have had a fly up there. It's changing rapidly, but we can't take it any longer. We can't take it any longer. It takes centuries to build up the unique character of the United States of America. Centuries and centuries goes on forever. Good and bad, it all comes out, and we ended up with a great country. But in 3.5 years...
What exactly about socialism do you not like?
Like the 130 million people that died under socialism in the last 100 years. The fact that every country that engages in a socialist direction becomes less free, less prosperous.
Do you think that maybe there's like a middle ground where we can have a little bit of both?
Everything comes at a price. The states that are the most socialistic are the worst and hardest states to live in this country. Have the most people leaving. Highest taxes, most social benefits, most social welfare, and they're leaving for states that are freer with lower taxes and more economic freedom. So everything comes at a price.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for your time. that was the moment that I realized the power of fresh food. I couldn't figure it out. I was trying everything, but then she had a stomachache again the next day. And the day after that, a veterinarian recommended that I try cooking for her. And when I did, I just made the exact ingredients that were on the front of the bag, but I bought fresh ingredients, cooked it myself, and when I fed it to her, the proof was there. She was a different dog. It was unbelievable. And that set me on this journey of what is dog food? It looks like food. It smells like food. It's what dogs are supposed to do.
They've really destroyed our country. They've really destroyed it. And we can fix it, but you know what? In 4 years, it's going to be too late. Just like we've seen in London and Paris and Minneapolis and Aurora and Colorado and Springfield, Ohio. But I'm not letting it happen here in Wisconsin. I'm not going to let it happen. You're not going to let it happen, are you? And I will not let it happen to Prairie du Chien. Not going to. So I just want to say we're pleased to be joined by so many great people, but one of them, as I said before, is Congressman Derek Van Orden, who lives just a short distance away. Where a heinous sex assault that I mentioned before took place. It was terrible, and Derek, I want to thank you very much for being here. You're doing a great job, but they had a hell of a time, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was from an illegal that came in through Kamala. And that won't be the last one. It'll only get purpose to get that will be sustainable. We have to get these people out. We got to get them out of here, okay? Got to get them out of here fast. Now the fake news would say, "Oh, he's such a mean person." I'm not mean. I'm a good person. I want to take care. We got to take care of people. We've built this over 250 years. We got to take care of our country. Our country's being destroyed by these people, and you don't even know why. Are they stupid? Are they evil? Do they want us to be destroyed? It's so obvious that it can't work. It can't work. I mean, go and take a look at Springfield. Go and take a look. And the governor's a Republican. He's a nice man. I helped him very much. Without me, he wouldn't have been elected. But he's taken an attitude of, he's going to be wonderful. Look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to have crime, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. Now, I'm speaking from common sense. You see, the Republican Party has really become the party of common sense. We need common sense now. I mean, we're not going to have men planning women's schools. We want to have a border. We want to have a border. We want to have good education. We want to have low taxes. We want to have a strong military. We built our military. Then they give away a big chunk of it to Afghanistan in the single most embarrassing day in the history of our country. The same idiots are dealing with us now on nuclear weapons in Russia and the problems in the Middle East. We have this whole world is exploding. And you know, one of the toughest, smartest people.
How is getting cash out still a thing? How is this thing still a thing? How is hiding your super secret pin code with the out of your hand still a thing? How is getting charged your money just to take your money?
Said very nicely, Viktor Orban, he's the head of a place called Hungary. He said, if you bring Trump back, everything's going to be good. Otherwise, this whole world is going to end up in a big, fat world war. You're going to end up having a war. Also with us, Crawford County Sheriff Dale McCullough. Dale, thank you. Thank you, Dale. Thank you. Good job. Prairie du Chien Police Chief Bob Tina. Thank you, Brian. Good job. And Wisconsin GOP Chair Brian Schimmer. Warm up, there's Brian. Oh, Brian, stand up. Are we going to win, Brian? Okay, good. Brian's doing a great job. Doing a great job. Thanks, Brian. Good job. What Kamala didn't talk about in her lies last night, just lied. Everything was a lie. And I was saying, why didn't she do it? I mean, she's been here almost 4 years. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Reading off a teleprompter. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? But I keep asking, I said it in the debate, I said, so what are you doing? Why don't you just do it? We're going to do this, she's been there for almost 4 years, they didn't do anything, except destroy our country. So why don't you do it? Then she says about a bill. It was such a bad bill, this bill that she talks about. You know, it's a fake bill. It was put in by the Democrats. There were a couple of Republicans that got duped and put before nobody wanted to vote. She said, I'm the one that talked about it. I wish I got it better, but I was the one that said, don't vote for it. But I do have a certain say, but I would have never voted for that bill. It was so bad. It would have allowed everybody to become a citizen. It would have allowed at least 2 million people to come into our country, and very rough ones. It was a terrible bill, but they use that as an excuse. The fact is, all she has to do is go back to the White House, wake up Sleepy Joe at 4 o'clock, so he's going to bed, and say, Joe, get your resting now. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor because I'm losing in the election. Sign this piece of paper. What is the piece of paper? It says to the Border Patrol, close the border for us. Like I did. And we want people to come in, but we want them to come in legally. Close the border. Joe, please sign it. Please sign it, Joe. I need help, Joe. I need help. They're killing me on the border. I'm losing on the border. You know, I won in 2016 on the border. It was one of the big things. I won on a lot of reasons, but I won on the border. I won because I stopped people from coming on and killing our country with trade with the, various countries. Mostly known as our friends. Our friends can be the worst in shit. Okay, they kill us more than our enemies. They sort of come underneath, and all of a sudden you realize we got taken over. But I did great on that. But I probably won on the border, and I fixed the border. And then in 2020, I couldn't even talk about it. Yet I got millions and more votes in 2020, but I still couldn't talk about it. My people were saying to me, so they don't want to hear about the border because you fixed it. I said, well, I want to talk about it. They don't want to hear it. It's true. Nobody wants to hear it. Today's border is 20 times worse than it was in 2016. 2016 was like a great day for this border. 2016, I fixed it. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I had another 200 miles, and that's much more than I promised to do. 200 miles ready to go, and when they took over, because of a rigged election, when they took over, they didn't want anything to do with putting those panels up. We could have put them up. They were laying right there, right next to it. I don't know if you heard this story, so they have sections where they even said you have to build a wall. And the panels that we put up, exactly what Border Patrol and ICE wanted. Everything. They even have the anti-climb panel on top, which I hated to look at. But it made it much harder to climb. So I said, well, do I give up the look for the climb? It's called an anti-climb panel, and that's right. It's very hard to get over the top. These guys can do anything. And what happened is they didn't want to put up those. So they went out and bought a totally different panel instead of just putting up, which is nothing by comparison. Not nearly as good. Not as good in any way. Rather than using the panel that was sitting 10 feet away, they put different panels up. Looks like hell, too. Now, yeah, they were all the focus of them. They said, where the hell did that come from? But they admit, I always said for years, I said, everything gets obsolete fast. Like you have a computer, and you think it's great, and then 2 weeks later it's obsolete. You have a new cell phone. I love it. A week and a half later, they come out with a better one. The only things that don't get obsolete are the wheel and the wall. A wall is never obsolete. But what Kamala did not talk about in her remarks last night were the countless Americans who've been brutally assaulted and killed by illegal aliens. And she let them in, killed, many killed. Just so many people already. You know, we think this is the beginnings. Now, this has been going on ever since they took over. Because from the day they took over, they said we want an open border, and nobody believed them. It wasn't believable. And here today is Patty Morin, whose heartbreaking story is a tragic warning of what will come to every city in America with 4 more years of Kamala Harris. I can't even believe she's doing it so quick. She was considered 8 years ago the worst vice president in history, a very dumb person. The fake news was calling her dumb, stupid, didn't have a chance. She was at the bottom of the list of 12 candidates. They voted and she came and lost. She fought Joe Biden, Crooked Joe. I call him 2 names. I call him Crooked Joe, Sleepy Joe. I'm not sure. I've never figured out which is better. I should get back to it. I actually try them together, but it doesn't work together. You know? I sort of interchange. But think of it. This person represents your country, and what's done to Patty, she was the most beautiful person, your daughter, you've ever seen. And I've gotten to know her, and none of this would have happened. Just like the war with Ukraine and Russia would have never happened if I was president. No chance, 0 chance. Putin would have never done it. Just like the attack on Israel would have never happened on October 7th. Just like that horror show. And if you look at Afghanistan, would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. We would right now be energy dominant instead of looking for energy. You know that our reserves, we have a reserve, and it's really meant for war. It's meant for very important things, strategic reserves, right? Just reported today they're at the lowest point they've been, maybe ever, but they know in 40 years, because Biden used that to suppress the numbers, because without that, the oil prices for your car, it wasn't supposed to be for your gasoline in all due respect, and it's peanuts compared to the amount we're talking about. But now we have the lowest strategic oil reserves in the history of our country within many decades. And it's a shame that Patty's precious daughter, Rachel, was a 37-year-old mom of 5 precious children, a beautiful woman, who lived in Maryland, 1,500 miles from the border. That's a long way from the border. Earlier this year, while Rachel was out on a run, she was brutally raped and murdered by this disgusting illegal alien who was led into the United States by Kamala and her blacks. Everyone might kill her. We had that grave. He would have never been able to get in. She stopped every single one of them. She was the border czar. Now she doesn't admit that. When you call her czar now, she was no czar because she really wasn't a czar. She didn't give a damn about the border. She never spoke to Border Patrol. You ever see the agents? All the top people, they never spoke to Biden or her. And yet it's like the most important thing. But Patty has suffered greatly. I've gotten to know Patty. She's a great woman. And she's just an amazing person and her family. Her family is suffering tremendously. But I'd like to ask Patty to come up and just say a few words about Rachel. Please, Patty. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm not a politician, so I'm not here to give you a spiel. I do want to say vote for Trump though, because I really believe that he's going to close our borders. Rachel was a very fun-loving, down-to-earth, compassionate woman. She worked really hard. She took good care of herself, took good care of her children. She loved people. She had a stammering, stuttering problem. So she was bullied when she was a child. So she really has compassion for other people. She was like the American mom. She took care of her kids. She worked hard. And because of this open border, her life was taken away and her children have been robbed of their mother. And it's just, we can't have it. Another 4 years of Kamala Harris, this story is going to be multiplied by the thousands.
And how are the numbers looking? We're landing at a strong 70 SPF. Thanks to JetBlue's low fares, Kayla's in vacation mode already.
So unnecessary. Everybody was so sorry for the terrible suffering that you've had to endure. I've had lunch with Patty, we've spoken to the whole family, and I've spoken to many other families, same thing. It's incredible. It's just incredible that a thing like that could happen. No reason for who has an open door where people they don't have the names of anybody. You know, there's 13,000 murderers out there. They don't have any idea where they are, who they are. They don't have the names. They don't just know. They're all out of jails. They're all convicted of really bad crimes. And now they're all in the country. And it's a lot of people. And on and on and every other victim of migrant crime, we will, with this election, we will secure our border. We will secure that border on day one. I always say, what are the first things you're going to do, or the first two things I always say? Number one, we're closing our border, and number two, we drill, baby drill. But I put drilling behind the border. A reporter asked me that question last night. What's the first thing? But I mean the first thing. I said, well, there's a couple of things. I said, I want to have the first thing. I said, you know the first thing? Close the border. The second thing is drill, baby, drill. But I'll do them at the same time. We're going to bring down your cost at a level that you wouldn't believe, because that's what you have to do. We will give you, your electric costs are the highest in the nation. I think you probably know that. We will bring down your energy costs within the first 12 months of my administration by 50%, and it'll be easy. We have more liquid gold under our feet. We're going to bring down your electric and your air conditioning and your gasoline. We're going to bring down your energy costs by 50% within 12 months of January 20th. So hold me to it. I hope I make it. All right, I hope I make it. You can hold me to it. And that in turn is going to bring down everything else. You're going to bring down the cost of food. You're going to bring, because your food costs have run. You know, the biggest complaint I actually get is groceries. When you talk to the people, they say, what's the biggest problem? Groceries. And it's true. You look at the cost of bacon, the cost of cereal, these things went up at numbers that nobody's ever seen before, because we have an incompetent administration. And I believe she's more incompetent than...
What's up, guys? We're going to hop in the store to Huntington's Park everywhere. Hopefully I can find it. If not, I'm almost at every single Whatnot, see if we can find it there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find what we're looking for there, so now I think we're going to try Whatnot, right? Alright, guys. Just hopped on Whatnot, made an account. Let's see what they got. Oh, wow. There's tons of different options going on. Alright, this one looks good. Let's hop in. Oh, wait. What's up, man? Five options.
Joe, I really do. I believe that she's more incompetent than Joe. A president's first duty and so allegiance is to his own citizens, the citizens of his country, and Kamala's allegiance is to illegal aliens and foreign migrants. That's what it is. And maybe that's a Marxist thing. I don't know. And where is your father? I'd love to speak to him. I'd love to speak to him, because nobody's heard from him. But I would like to speak to him. My heart is loyal only to the American people. I just feel for the American people. And unless I'm elected, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Hey, look, you have two people. See, let's say 350 million people. You have no idea how many people you have in this country. You know, normally you say we have no idea how many people. They've lost control. But let's say you have 350 million people. Then you had some people running as Republicans. There were a lot of people running as Democrats. She was the first one out. By the way, you get 22 people running as Democrat when they started. And is that the right number, right? 22 people. And she was the first one to quit. She quit the first. She never got to Iowa. And then you had them fail, and you end up with Crooked Joe. And that's okay. I said, this is crazy. He's the one that got the nomination. He got 14 million votes. You know how many she got? Nothing. And everyone said she'll never get the nomination. But they were afraid because they wanted to be politically correct, so they gave it to her. But she was the weakest person on the whole list. But she's got the fake news, they're all fake. And they're behind her. Nobody knows why. I'm sure they don't know why. But they do it out of habit. They do it because there's no reason why anybody would be behind her. She's not qualified. She'll do a horrible job. She'll be the worst president. She'll be worse than Joe, which is hard to believe. The happiest president right now is Jimmy Carter because his administration is brilliant compared to the one we have right now. And it's a very nice thing. He's an old guy, but he's the happiest guy in the world because he was brilliant by comparison to these people. They are the worst ever. When day one of my new administration, I'll stop all of the migrant flights into our country. You know, those planes are flying over right now, and they don't count them in the numbers. I don't know if you know. They and the phone app, which are thousands and thousands, they don't count them in the numbers. That's why they do it, because they don't want to count them. I will end catch and release. I will restore, remain in Mexico. I will bring back Title 42. That's the medical. I will send in federal law enforcement to rescue every town that has been taken over by migrant gangs and criminal alien thugs. And by that time, many of your towns in this great state will be in that position. It's happening fast. It's happening fast. And again, the politicians don't like talking because they think it's bad publicity. Worst publicity is to let it happen. The governor of Colorado is a Democrat, liberal guy. He's beside it. He doesn't know what to do.
Do you think we should get rid of the law that says you can't come into a country illegally? Should we just get rid of that law?
More often?
Yeah. I would say no. No, we should get rid of it. Okay, I agree. So then when should we enforce it? What? When should we enforce it? Okay, and you know the reason I respect intellectual honesty because you said we should enforce it all the time, then you know it would apply to your own. But you're a winner of all this because we're the greatest country in the history of the world, right? I love being American. Yes, and so great, okay? And we have birthright citizenship, you have a U.S. passport, I assume, right? You cannot have a sustainable country if you do not have control who comes into your country with no sort of standards, no sort of process. It's a big mystery.
These Venezuelans are coming, they're taking over big parts of this country. And he doesn't, and they're armed with weapons that the military doesn't even have. We will seal the border, we will stop the invasion immediately, we begin the largest deportation operation in the history of our country because we have no choice. No matter what obstacles and dangers are thrown in our path, I will keep on fighting for you and for this country that we all love. That's why I'm doing this. I tell you what, I had a good life before I did this. Nobody was shooting at me. I had a hell of a life. Oh, those locations, those beautiful. I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful. Much better than Sleepy Joe. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's president. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but he goes to the beach. And then he's got a lot of cameras on. And somebody told him he looks good in the building. So. And he doesn't do what's in YouTube. It's hard, yeah, that's what we applaud. But the mountains are good. There were so many people in their 90s that were sure. This was one of them. But any guy that can lie down and in front of cameras fall asleep, stone cold out, and he's the president of the United States, and it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, he's laying on the beach and he's sleeping. I said, how the hell do you fall asleep in front of the fake news media? But see, he can do it. If I did that, I would be. But because they protect him, he can do it. But he's out cold. And in certain ways, I respect it. I wish I had that ability to fall asleep like that. I would love that ability. I'd get a lot more sleep. That would be a good thing. But he goes to sleep stone cold in front of the media. I never saw anything like it. He's sleeping. I said, what the hell? How do you do that? And honestly, our people don't want to see him at the beach on a Tuesday sleeping. We really don't want to see that. Our American ancestors shed their blood and tears to build this magnificent land, and we are not going to let Kamala Harris and her party of absolute lunatics like Nancy Pelosi, Nancy. Did you see this crazy Nancy? She's crazy as a bit, but listen, crazy Nancy, okay? Visa announces that they're under major investigation. Major. By the Department of Justice. Major. Visa. She owns a lot of visas now. And they said Nancy Pelosi, she sold it the day before it was announced. Her and her husband. They sold their stock the day before this was announced. Can you imagine if it were a Republican? Oh, no, it's terrible. No, it's terrible. That they're allowed to do that is terrible. But you're the people of America, you're the soul of America, and you will be trouble over no longer. We're not going to let this happen. We've got to stop it. We've got to stop it now. I used to say they're trying to destroy our country, and I always hated the sound of that. The truth is, they have destroyed our country. They're destroyed. But we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back fast. In this election, we need record turnout from our small towns. We need the heartland of America to stand up and to rescue this nation. There's so many great little towns and cities. You add them all up, and they're big. That's what I've always had. But they're trying to destroy them. And they're petrified. I told you, they're petrified of what's happening. Even if they haven't gotten the migrants yet, they're all coming. We need the entire Midwest to get out and vote and early mail-in voting for everywhere. The Midwest has been so powerful for us. This area has been so powerful for us. You've been powerful for us, but Wisconsin, when you look at California, which, by the way, she destroyed San Francisco. She was the DA. Then she became the Attorney General of California. She destroyed California, along with Gavin Newsom. You know that, Gavin? So I want to ask you to go and vote, and really go vote to save America. I believe this is the most important election in the history of our country. With your support, we will get the border shut. We will send the illegals back. We will repel the invasion immediately. It won't take long. We'll defend our territory, reclaim our sovereignty. We've lost our sovereignty. And restore the allegiance of our government to the people of this country. Together we will make America powerful again. Make America wealthy again. Make America healthy again. Make America strong again. Make America proud again. Make America safe again. And we will make America great again. We are going to make it greater than ever before. So Wisconsin, get out and vote. God bless you all. I'll be back. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Get out and vote. Save our country. Save our country.
Specs has the lowest price, so we'll always bring home the W. Specs, the fun starts here.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we've got, thank you. We've got a hell of a crowd here in the state of Pennsylvania, and in 38 days, we're going to turn Pennsylvania red, send Kamala Harris back in, and send Donald Trump back to the White House. Now, let me say a few notes of appreciation. First of all, to my lovely wife, Usha, thank you so much, honey, for letting me do this. I don't know why you put up with me, but there's no turning back now. I want to thank the great Congressman, Dan Muser. Where's Dan at? Thank you, Dan. We got Congressman Lloyd Smucker. Lloyd, thank you so much for being here and serving the people of Pennsylvania. We got State GOP Chairman Lawrence Thomas. Lawrence, say hello. And of course, we've got the owner of the Newtown Athletic Club and one of the MVPs of the Trump campaign, Jim Worthington. Thank you, Jim. Now look, I don't know if you guys saw, but a couple of days ago, for the first time, Kamala Harris sat down for an interview with a national audience. That was amazing. It was the person that she sat down with, of course, had already endorsed Kamala Harris, so I don't know if that counts as much of an interview. But, you know, it drove home.
Dạ, mời quý chú vô chuẩn bị buổi lễ chào Quốc Kỳ. Lễ dân hương chào Quốc Kỳ Hoa Kỳ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa và cầu nguyện mỗi hàng tuần sáng Chủ nhật lúc 9:30 tại đài tưởng niệm chiến sĩ Houston số 11360 Bel Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77072 do Ban Hậu vệ Quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa và Cảnh sát Quốc gia đồng tổ chức. Nghi thức dân hương bắt đầu. Đồng xá, 4 xá. Đồng Xá 4 xá. Toán rước Quốc Kỳ về vị trí chuẩn bị. Sau đây là hành lễ rước Quốc Kỳ vào vị trí. Chào tay, chào. Đem tay xuống, thao diễn, nghỉ. Sau đây là lễ chào quốc ca Hoa Kỳ. Nghiêm, chào tay, chào.
Brushed lines and bright stars through the perilous fight of the ramparts we won were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the that our flag were still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave of the land of the free and the home of the
Lễ chào Quốc Kỳ Hoa Kỳ chấm dứt. Đem tay xuống, thao diễn, nghỉ. Sau đây là lễ Quốc Kỳ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa. Đồng ca quốc ca Việt Nam Cộng Hòa bắt đầu. Nghiêm, chào tay, chào.
Này công dân ơi, đứng lên đáp lời sông núi, đồng lòng cùng đi hy sinh biết gì thân gian, vì tương lai quốc dân cùng sống và quyết tên, làm sao cho núi sông từ nay luôn vững bền, dù cho thay phơi trên tương gian, tổ lửa đem máu đào đem máu, nói ra lúc tin nói cần danh linh người con dân một vững bền tâm trí hùng tráng quyết chiến đấu làm cho hết nơi vang tiếng lời nước Nam cho đến muôn đời công dân ơi, mau yên thân dưới cờ công dân ơi, mau làm cho con tờ thoát trần hải xa vẽ vang người dân xứng danh nghìn năm dòng sông lạc hà.
chào Quốc kỳ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa chấm dứt, đem tay xuống, thao diễn, nghỉ. Sau đây là phút mặc niệm, 1 phút mặc niệm để ghi nhớ công đức tiền nhân các anh hùng dân tộc vì quốc vong thân. Phút mặc niệm để tưởng nhớ đến đồng bào và chiến sĩ đã hy sinh trong công cuộc chiến đấu bảo vệ tự do. Phút mặc niệm để thương xót cho hàng ngàn đồng bào chúng ta chết đưỡng đau trong vùng kinh tế mới. Các chiến sĩ đã gửi thân xác lại hốc núi ven rừng trong ngục tù cộng sản. Và sau hết, phút mặc niệm để tưởng nhớ đến hàng vạn đồng bào chúng ta kém may mắn trên đường tìm tự do đã gửi thân lại vùng biên giới và trên sóng biển mênh mông. Phút mặc niệm những chiến sĩ đồng minh đã hy sinh tại chiến trường Việt Nam và tất cả cụ chiến sĩ đã góp phần xương máu giúp Việt Nam Cộng Hòa bảo vệ miền Nam tự do. Phút mặc niệm bắt đầu. Nghiêm. Phút mặc niệm đã qua. Thao diễn, nghỉ. Nghiêm. Lời nguyện cầu trước tượng đài chúng tôi, những dân quân cán chính Việt Nam Cộng Hòa và hậu duệ sống lưu vong tị nạn trên miền đất tự do, cùng nhau kính dâng hương hoa trước tượng đài để tỏ lòng tri ân anh hùng tử sĩ Việt Nam và đồng minh đã hy sinh tánh mạng trong cuộc chiến chống cộng sản tại miền Nam Việt Nam. Nguyện cầu hồn thiêng sông núi và anh linh tử sĩ hộ trì cho đất nước, con dân Việt Nam trong cũng như ngoài nước được tổ quốc và non sông Việt Nam trường tồn vĩnh cửu. Dân tộc Việt Nam luôn bất khuất, quật cường trước mọi kẻ thù tàn phá, xâm phạm lãnh thổ và lãnh hải quốc gia. Những chiến sĩ đang can trường tranh đấu ở quê nhà cũng như hải ngoại đạt được nhiều thắng lợi, giành lại tự do, nhân quyền và cuộc sống ấm no, hạnh phúc cho đồng bào tại Việt Nam. Lá quốc kỳ, nền vàng và sọc đỏ biểu tượng cho quốc gia Việt Nam được sớm tung bay trên mọi nẻo đường đất nước, nêu cao chánh nghĩa ngàn đời từ Bắc chí Nam. Tất cả chúng tôi xin cúi đầu kính bái. Toán trước quân kỳ về vị trí giá cờ. Thao diễn, nghỉ. mời anh ban đọc ra anh thư sự việc đem ra một bài theo yêu cầu của tình hứa cô gái Việt nha. Dạ, sau đây ban học ca Thư Thị Nguyện xin trình bày nhạc phẩm Cô Gái Việt của Hồng Lân. Dạ, xin kính mời.
Người sông núi vươn vang bốn phương trời, dục chúng ta đường cùng xưa quyết tiếng. Chiều trường xưa đẹp gương sáng muôn đời, dòng máu thiêng còn đượm nồng van trái tim. Dẫu không vùng tài trai vui tranh đấu, gánh sơn hà còn trong hơn xương máu. Dù thành thị hay thôn trang ai ơi, lòng hẹn lòng bạn gái ta xây đời. Chị em ơi quê nước chờ mong ta sớm lập công, tô thắm giang sơn Việt Nam. Ngoài những phun quan xuyên tề ra, hãy hướng lòng ta đến những ai đang cửa hàng. Kìa cô nhi không chút tình thương, đây nấm tàn nhân năm tháng đau thương còn trôi. Cùng cương quyên góp sức đồng tâm, muôn dân vui một đời vàng sáng tươi. Lời sông núi vươn vang bốn phương trời, dục chúng ta đường cùng xưa quyết tiếng. Chiều trường xưa đẹp gương sáng muôn đời, dòng máu thiêng còn đượm nồng van trái tim. Dẫu không vùng tài trai vui tranh đấu, gánh sơn hà còn trong hơn xương máu. Dù thành thị hay thôn trang ai ơi, lòng hẹn lòng bạn gái ta xây đời. Chị em ơi quê nước chờ mong ta sớm lập công, tô thắm giang sơn Việt Nam. Ngoài những phun quan xuyên tề ra, hãy hướng lòng ta đến những ai đang cửa hàng. Kìa cô nhi không chút tình thương, đây lớn tàn nhân năm tháng đau thương hầm trôi. Cùng cương quyên góp sức đồng tâm, muôn dân vui một đời vàng sáng tươi. Cùng cương quyên góp sức đồng tâm, muôn dân vui một đời vàng sáng tươi.
Dạ, cảm ơn. Dạ, mời chụp tấm hình kỷ niệm. Mời chú, mời thầy, mời chú, nè chú, nè mình chụp tấm hình.
Thầy cờ vàng, nickname là thầy cờ vàng.
Thầy cờ vàng.
Cô để trong phone,
Cô để trong phone.
thầy cờ vàng.
Rồi, 10 second.
đem cờ ông Trump vô cầm luôn, chụp luôn.
Quanh mua.
Tuần sau đem cờ ông Trump vào đây.
Đem cờ Trump vô luôn phải không? Ai cũng cầm hết phải không?
Yeah.
Phải chuẩn bị trước.
Yeah. Để chụp hình. Mai mốt ông lên làm tổng thống là mình chụp đó. Đó không ngon bằng bây giờ mình chụp. Đúng không?
Đây á là tụi con là 10 năm, nhưng mà tụi con không tổ chức mà Bùi á là nếu mà ông thắng á thì tụi con mới tổ chức. Nếu mà nó mà cướp lá phiếu không Trump nữa là con dẹp luôn.
Giỡn mà. Giỡn mà.
Bởi vậy thấy năm 2020 nó cướp rồi.
Bây giờ như thế này, tại sao cô Anna làm lễ ông Diệp ngày 10 tháng 11 để sau đó nếu ông Trump thắng, cô cháu mình, bà con mình
Nếu mà ông thắng á
tưng
là
bừng luôn. Đó.
là 17 tháng 11. Mừng lớn mà 10 năm anh Thư luôn.
Rồi.
Còn nếu mà không á là coi như là dẹp luôn á cô. Dẹp luôn á. Buồn lắm, nó cướp hoài à, nó không biết cách nào để trị đó. 3 người đứng lại. Phải nói trước đó ở nhà đó. Mà giờ này làm sao mà có sẵn thuốc đâu mà có sẵn. Phải nói trước là có liền. Có liền. Quế la kìa, ai kêu chị Quế la?
Quế la.
Ai kêu chị Quế la? Cô, chừng nào đi lên, tuần rồi đi lên thầy sao không rủ cô?
Quế la ai gọi kêu à?
Hả?
Quế la ai gọi?
Quế la ai gọi chị quá trời á. Bởi vậy hai người đem kiếm để chờ em lấy một cái kiếm. Bởi vậy Quế la gọi quá trời Quế la rồi. Quế la, Quế còn la nữa. Chị Quế đó, chị Quế mình á.
Đi rồi.
Bởi vậy không chịu xuống xe mà ngồi xe kêu.
Thôi nha, muốn nói chuyện thì chạy lại.
Ủa, còn em chị chụp tóc, em lấy kiếm mà. Bởi vậy. Sao hôm qua không đi chùa? Ơi. Này. Ủng hộ
Oh, just how completely without substance Kamala Harris is.
cứ vô lấy đi anh.
You know, she gives an interview and they'll ask her, what is your specific plan for cutting down on the inflation that your policies caused? And she'll say, well, I grew up in a middle-class family. Did you know that? They'll say, Kamala, the world's at war. We've got a war in Asia. We've got a war in Europe. We've got another war threatening in East Asia. What is your plan to bring back stability to the world? That's exactly right. No war was with Trump. What's your plan? What's your plan to follow suit?
Còn nào em ra hả em trai?
Phương Đông chị, sang năm thì không có xua. Tại sang năm mà ông Trung ông đoán ông đem đồ dớp về. Mà ông đem dớp về để bắt buộc người ta làm ngày Chủ nhật. Cũng như cố gắng thì giống như là xin nghỉ ngày thôi chứ không có nghỉ quá.
Phai đi để có job. Không có đâu phai.
Đi đâu?
Trời ơi, gì đâu.
Ồ, em đi
Trump burger. Tại vì mấy ảnh rủ đi á, em tưởng đâu không có ai đi hết trơn, hỏi mấy người ai cũng bận hết trơn á, cho nên em đi Trump burger. Có hai chị em mình bán. Chị em đi hai chị em đi. Thì để coi tại mấy ảnh mà ổng đâu có đưa địa chỉ đâu, ổng nói ổng gửi về nhà.